Hey y'all, this is Jeff from Jeff's Vegetable Gardening in Containers. Um, back in, trying to think now, back in February, March, did a little thing about my sweet potatoes, which are sitting right here, and what you had to do to let them grow to get your slips ready. And I just want to show you what they look like. I got a ton of them now, you can see. I'll have to give you a total count, but let's see. Must be 40 or 50 slips here, not more. They came off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost there's 7 potatoes in here, and it looks like 5 of them did slips. So the next thing you have to do with these slips is after they've done that, you have to get them to uh, establish roots, and then you can plant them. So I've already got one barrel out the garden out there that I have sweet potatoes in because they establish roots, and I got them going. So all you do is get yourself since there's so many like this, just get yourself a nice pitcher of water. Okay, now they have to sit in this pitcher of water for like 2 weeks or more till they establish their roots, and they'll have like long white roots on them when they grow and everything. So I don't really have to tear these. I tell you, this wheelbarrow is more of a hindrance than it's doing me any good at all. So it's I bought them over there, but that's being a bit of a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna pull them up because I'm gonna pull it up so I can break them off. But so you can see, it's down in the dirt. See all them roots? All them roots. That's all from them sweet potatoes growing in and out of there everywhere, right? And they're coming off of this sweet potato, as you can see right here, right? So I want to break these sweet potato roots off right at the sweet potato, just right there, right? And I want to try to get rid of this dirt so you don't have to change it as much. We want just the slips in there because with this this will let it do. See how long those roots are now? They can almost be planted already. But the other ones are a little short in here, so I'm just trying to get the majority of this dirt off. And you see how long they are. Some of them are huge. But I'm going to put them in, and I just set them roots down that water for a couple weeks, and then they'll get roots on them. Probably about, some of them already that long, but all of them will get roots like that long on them, and then I'll be able to, once I get them roots just planted right in the ground, you get a ton of sweet potatoes. You can see that one right there with barely any root on it, but it'll grow back in. That's just in that gallon container now. And like I said, I can put this sweet potato right back from where I got it. It's not going to hurt anything or do anything. And the soil's kind of dry now, and I don't want this inside because it's starting to draw the bugs a little bit. So you see this sweet potato here? See them all in the dirt there? So we want to try to get rid of as much of that. We're not going to get rid of it all, trust me. You want a little bit of nutrition in there for them as they're sitting in the water. But you can see the roots here. Got some nice roots. And actually, these are better than most roots I plant them with over time. I've done them for years, and I've had record sweet potato harvest. So I'm not too really worried about it. Even doing this with a lot of these, it's just I like to try to keep the roots doing their stuff and don't just the ways I've always done it. It just seems like it makes it all better. And then once you set these in the water, which I'll be doing here with the other ones, once you set them all in that water, it'll take a little time, but it's what they need. You see that thing right now is about halfway full of water, and these are all long enough so you're not sitting them underneath the ground. What do you call it? Drowning them with anything. But look at that, just beautiful roots on here. Beautiful. Normally I don't get them this good. I mean, I get roots on them, but these have developed really nice. I haven't changed much that I've done with them. This just happens to be a real good slip growing season for me. I mean, I'm not saying I've failed at them before. I've grown these roots many a times off the slips. Um, but since they're so big, what's nice about them, with being like so many of them, what's nice about them is you don't have to have the tiny ones and wait too long. Like how long those roots are, perfect. But they also need a lot of that water. And then you put them in. Now, what I do with mine, I'm a little different than everybody else. I used to grow them in grow bags and buckets and containers and all that good stuff. I'll be honest, I used to do all that stuff too. But I have found, I see this one's still a little wet and got a couple growing on there in case any reason I lose any of the neighbors want anything or anything. I'm just going to pop that back down in that soil that's still just a little bit wet, and they'll still keep doing what they're doing. See what this one's got on it. Yeah, she got a couple on there too. So we're going to pop those sweet potatoes off, right? So this is really overcrowded, but it's good in one way because I don't have to have a million jugs out here doing this. And there's one still growing there, real small one right there. So we're going to put that one back. All these would grow more. All of them will grow, but I'm just trying to get the ones that are most effective. Like I'm going to pop these two off here, but leave those all alone because they're too small. They're not too small. I've grown them like that before, but that way I don't have to get the little buckets of water out for everything. And I got a couple more in there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 12 to 15 more still in there that would make nice sweet potato slips. So now you can see this kind of, people would say, what is that? Well, that'll sit in there. I'll change that water at least once a week, but I'll probably change it more. I'll probably change it like every 2 or 3 days. It's a little dirty now because the dirt's on there. And it just keeps establishing them roots until they get longer and white and longer and longer. The longer they are, better. Then I break them all apart individually, and then I get my trash cans, which one's already full out there. The other one's ready to be done. And then I got 2 more to still do. And I get all those slips out and individually. The only difference I'm going to have this year is I always plant 1 full bag of mulch on the bottom of a big trash can I use. And then I use mixed potting soil with cow manure with, oh my gosh, I think I'm losing my mind. The light brown stuff, I can't think of it. It comes in the big white bags. I can't think of what it's called there. I mix those 3 together just like you'll see in all my other planting videos. And then at each hole I dig to put a little potato in, or a slip in, I put them slips in, and I take a little pinch of bone meal, blood meal, cover it with dirt, just do that. So on the top of one of those trash cans, that's like a big waste can. It's not a 55-gallon drum, but it's one of the bigger trash cans you would buy like for a house. I'm guessing it's 30, 40 gallon. So I'll plant like 5 or 6 around the top of that, get a little room between them, like 5 around the perimeter, 1 in the middle. And what I did with that other barrel I got back there this year is I drilled a bunch of holes in the side, because what ends up happening is the barrel's probably about this tall, and it's got the mulch down there, so you grow from the top down. It grows a lot of sweet potatoes, but the problem is you always have a lot of dirt at the bottom that really doesn't get used up a lot for growing the potatoes. So I drilled holes on it, put them in the sides of them this year. Not that I wanted to mess my trash cans up, but I'm doing that only because the wasted space sometimes I think there is in those cans. Even though, like I said, I get 70, 80 pounds of sweet potatoes every year or more. And I'm not complaining because you can only eat so many, and even though I shouldn't grow that many, because, I mean, I get bags away to neighbors and family and all that, but I'm just a maniac for growing stuff. Either way, you still, when you got that much capacity, it's like putting in a raised garden or putting a garden in the ground and making the rows like 30 foot long and putting like 15 plants in there when you could put 30 in there. And, you spread them out and they're growing good, but you could have fit more in there. So for years, I just put them in the top and didn't want to fool because I get so busy. After you get done, like I have, that garden I got, that's just tremendous amount of work, putting all the the dirt together and the soils and mixing it all together. Peat moss is what I was trying to tell you last time. I couldn't remember. It's peat moss that I mix in. And time you get them all together, you do the seedlings, and you break down the garden at the end of the year. Then you get in the winter where you're growing stuff in the shed, and actually just more or less incubation. It's not really growing. It's just sitting there so it don't die. Stuff you're trying to keep going. Potatoes do pretty good. Then once you're done, then you get that whole big garden like I got back here all set up, and you get all the pots made up, and you move the dirt again, and it gets cold, you move them back in the greenhouse, and then I started all my seedlings inside this year, so more than 80% of my garden is done by seedlings I grew inside this year. And I used to do that all the time. Then actually plants got to be, by the time you bought seeds and did all the work in the dirt that you'd use just to do seedlings, it got to be the point in the trays and everything. Even though I got 100 of them trays, nuts. It just got to be the expense. It seemed like it was worth what it was really doing. So I ended up a couple of years ago starting to buy a little bit more. So it was probably like 50-50 I was growing. But oh man, with the price of dirt now and the price of the fertilizers and the price of the plants and everything you do this year, I said, well, I didn't even know I was going to do a full garden this year because I'm going to go away for a little while here in the warm weather, and wasn't sure I was really going to do it. And I was like, I don't know if I'm into it. And as soon as spring hit, it was on. And so like I said, it's all set up. I got to fix one fence on the garden, but it's ready to go. I got one greenhouse down, one more still to take down for the summer, and then it's just rock and roll from here. And I got my automatic timers and water sequence out there already, so everything gets wet every 2 days for like 20 minutes. So we're good. I will, when you water that much into containers, you do have to fertilize a little more often. So I just got the watering on it. We've had a lot of rain, but I just got the watering on it a couple of days ago. So I'd say 2 weeks from now, I'll go out and fertilize again. And then that'll be good for like a month or so, 3 weeks to a month, and then I'll go from there. So I'm going to let these still sit out, keep growing. And you can see all the slips I got here that are just going to grow all the roots down in this area here. And once all them roots are grown and we're set to go, I'll bring it back and we'll plant all these things and I'll show you how I do it. All right, guys, don't forget to go out and like and subscribe to the page and check on all the videos, and I'll answer all your questions. And don't go out to all our other sites on Facebook and Pinterest and all that and see what you got to see. All right, guys, have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.